There we go.
And there we go.
All right.
What's up, people? I don't know if you can hear us. Hopefully.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think it's streamed. All right.
Okay.
So, what's up, everyone? I'm here with Mega again, once again. Shout out to Snorley, first person in the chat. Yeah. So, Mega, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Mega from MegaXAnimeXOpenings, and we're just going to be discussing like being an anime tuber on YouTube, and it's like ups and downs basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to keep the topic like kind of vague, so everybody has their own, their own perspective to it, I guess. Because like success, you can classify that in many ways. I think the main, like the most common one would probably be subscriber count. If you have 1 million subscribers, you're successful. But I think we kind of look a little bit more into it. So, just to share my thoughts, one thing that I would consider a AniTuber as successful would be that's not just subscriber base, would be kind of like reputation in a sense.
Yeah.
So one person that definitely comes to mind is Joe from Pause and Select, who's got I think like around 25,000 subscribers or so, which is pretty good, definitely. But for the most part, I think everyone in the community respects his work in one way or another. He doesn't have to be everyone's favorite or whatever, but everyone's kind of like, oh yeah, this dude, he's pretty cool, and we all know of him kind of. So I would call him a successful AniTuber, even though his sub count isn't like as big as Gigax or whoever,
Yeah.
What about you? Do you have any examples or just kind of like general things to add?
I think like it doesn't only have to do with like subscriber count. View count is also a big part of it. Like I have like around 35 subscribers, 37 last time I checked, and I don't have like a lot of views also. So I wouldn't consider myself of like a very successful at the moment, but I'm just starting out.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. And I mean, honestly, like I've seen certain like channels that I follow and stuff like that. So someone will have like maybe 10,000 subs or something. Even, I could use myself as an example for this one on a smaller scale. I have like 60 subs or something. But my first video has 1,000 views, and I've seen someone who has like 10,000 subs, but a video with over 300,000 views, so like you can still have a lot of views and maybe not, on like 1 or 2 videos, but your sub count is still kind of low.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like a interesting middle ground, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that that like another thing that I feel like kind of like determines how successful you are is your amount of videos that you put out. Like, yeah, because
so
I know
like an output or like your whole archive.
Yeah, like your output, because I know for me, like procrastination really affects me, and I should really put out more content more often. But yeah,
I mean, I'm sure people will sometimes, unless you're really making like quick videos or something, it could take a while to get these done. Like I know for myself, I haven't uploaded in a while, but that's like I've been working on stuff. For videos, so like they'll eventually come out. Also like work and stuff gets in the way of life, so it's like limited amount of time to do things, I guess. But yeah, definitely I think well, I guess yes and no, because I think actually yes, because like the more output, more content you put out, the higher chance of people finding you, I guess, and therefore more like your name being spread around, I guess. So I guess that's how that works. It's not bad. Another version of success would be something like just money. I think everybody wants to get paid, so in one way or another. So I know that there are certain people, I guess, that may not have like the largest amount of subs, but they probably make the most amount of money. So someone that comes to mind, I think, would be like Jeff Mother's Basement, who does a lot of like promo work, like you know, shilling for Crunchyroll and all these cool different things. So, you know, I'm pretty sure he's getting paid decent, and you know, his sub count doesn't have to be like at 1 million for his like, you know, his payments to get, you know, his payments to be up there. So, I guess how do you look into like what do you think about like that? How do you reach that level like without having like 1 million subs for all these companies to reach out for you to pay you and stuff like that?
You it has to do with like YouTube's whole partnership like program. Last I checked, I think you needed like around 10,000 views on like on like for a certain time limit, and like and like it's not like just one time, it's just like continues going on like that. And then like they you have the option of adding like ads to your video to make money.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, like, I think YouTube AdSense is kind of dead. Like, no one really relies on that anymore, just because it is so like, you know, like they demonetize videos so quickly.
Yeah.
But, no, I meant like being like an outsource, like, you know, if Crunchyroll pays you or like Loot Crate or whatever, you know, like the people that send you the fucking like the body pillows, and it's like, hey, show off this body pillow on camera, and we'll send you some money or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would like to get to that point someday. Like, I would really love if like I'll talk more like Notice Me or something with my all my figure reviews and we like figures to like review and stuff.
That's actually a good like transition point, because I remember a while back someone posted something on Twitter which was around the lines of like, would you quote unquote sell out, you know, just to like make extra money? And then all these like anime YouTubers replied, and some of them were just like straight up like, yes, you know, if someone's gonna pay me, I'll do it. Others were like, you know, it depends on the product, it depends on how much, you know, freedom you have with the video, you know. Because like if you know, if I'm gonna like shill for this company, it should still be in my style, I guess. So you know, how do you feel about that, I guess? Like if if the company that you want reached out to you, but they're like, you have to do it in this way and say these things exactly, like would you still be interested, or do you not care?
I would probably be less interested, because I don't want to have to change like what I like to the content that I like to make just because I just because I'm getting paid to do it. Like if I would have to, I would want to it to be like something that I like to do, because if I'm not enjoying doing it, then it would honestly feel like work to me, and YouTube it isn't supposed to feel like work to me.
No, yeah, definitely. And I think once you cross that bridge from this being your hobby to this being like your job, which I know that there are people that, you know, are relying on their craft essentially to like pay their bills and everything. That's when, you know, certain things kind of start being changed. And I think that's, you know, that's something that comes with success, which going back to the whole success thing, I think everybody wants to be successful, but I also think that there's different levels. So for example, you know, someone like Joey the Anime Man or Aki Dearest, who have a lot of subscribers, would you consider them famous? Even like Giguk, you know, just like the over 1 million club?
Yeah, I would consider them famous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I mean, you know, YouTube as a whole, when you look at like the anime community in YouTube, it's like very small compared to even like the gaming community and like the vlogging community or whatever, like all these other communities. So I would say they're like anime YouTube famous, but not necessarily YouTube famous.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
Cool. So what level would you like your channel to get to, I suppose? Like, I mean, obviously more subscribers is good, but like, is there kind of like a middle ground where you be like content, like, okay, I have this going on, and you know, like how would you define success for yourself essentially on anime YouTube?
For me, right now, since I'm only at 37, I think if I can get to at least 100, then I'd be happy.
100 subs?
Yeah, like at least 100 subs, because I don't produce a lot of content at the moment. So if I could get to 100 subs, then I'd be happy with that for where I am right now.
Okay, that's fair. But do you think that you'll maybe not necessarily make more content, but like different content, or because the thing that I've seen before as well is like, I know Digibro's kind of famous for saying this, which is like how you have to make your your content more appealing to more broad people. And I think the point that he brought up was like his SAO video, where he's like, if you just make a SAO thumbnail and video with like the title SAO, like you'll get like 30,000 views or whatever. So I guess in that sense, would you go down that route of almost clickbait just to like reach, you know what I mean? Like, is that how you measure success? Basically just like subs and view counts?
I've actually kind of done that already, because when I first made my YouTube, I was doing it just to exclusively get back into YouTube, because I used to be like a big fan subber back in the day, and like back at the old YouTube, and I was making videos that were getting like 50,000 views and stuff.
Oh, nice.
But I had to leave because I got 3 strikes on YouTube, and they like deleted my account, and I stopped doing YouTube for a while, and then I figured, since I was making videos like that back then, I might as well come back, and I did it exclusively for fan subs, and times have changed. Like, people aren't looking for that anymore.
No, yeah, okay, I can see that. So
yeah,
I guess with the changing times, it also kind of like gives you a motive to like change your content as well. So like your content will evolve with the times, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, most definitely. I think, okay, success for me isn't necessarily like grounded in a number per se, like a sub number. Like I know I have like, very, very low subs at this point, which is completely understandable. Everybody starts off somewhere.
Yeah.
But like, I think, like success for me would be like having like a stable fan base, I guess, or just like people that, like your content to a degree. So whether that's 1,000 people or 10,000, you know what I mean? Like you just kind of have like a stable fan base and just like people that you can always like talk with. I know we talk a lot on people with, like on Discord and sometimes Twitter and stuff like that. So, just kind of having your own thing where it's like the things that I'm doing kind of matter, whether that reaches, 1 person or 50 people, whatever. I think that's kind of how I would define AniTube success. Again, because AniTube is like a small community, but at the same time, there are a lot of AniTubers,
Yeah, there are.
So it's like everybody needs their own like pocket of people, I guess, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess, since we're like on the topic of success and just kind of getting your name out there, how are some ways besides like clickbait and stuff like that you think that you can like achieve higher growth, like maybe at like a quicker pace, I guess? I know that you and I are not big YouTubers at all, but like any methods or something that you see that might have worked for someone else, perhaps? And
I would say keeping an eye on your view counts and like seeing what works, and but at the same time, don't 100% like make videos based on the view counts, because you still want to like do what you like. But like I would say, make videos that you see people like more, but you still enjoy making.
No, definitely, I agree with that. 100%.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to NECRO in the chat. And he brings up a good point. He said, essentially what you said, be yourself, and communicate with the fans, which I do think is important. I like the fact that we have like Twitter, Discord, stuff like that, where you can just talk to people, comment sections as well. You know what I mean? So like all that is pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
So who would you consider the most successful AniTuber, I guess?
Well,
Right now.
I don't really watch a lot of AniTubers, so I can't really say. So I really should look and start watching more, but I haven't. If I was to say out of all the ones that I know, I would say probably Gig is pretty up there.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah.
And I think it's because he does like appeal to more than just like the anime community, I think. His jokes are kind of like, you know, they're based on anime, I guess, but it's like they can reach a wider audience, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would probably give it to Jeff Mother's Basement, just because I do feel like he is probably the one getting paid the most for everything that he does. But again, you know, that's if you're just going by like numbers, you know, like money. Otherwise, I would say probably like Joe from Pause and Select, because again, I do think that his name, you know, like people know of him, you know, and like I think there's like respect to his concept to a certain degree from everyone.
I would also say Anime Man is another one, because I've seen videos of him like actually interviewing people and from the anime company communities, and that's like pretty hard to do.
Yeah, definitely. Also, Nico brings up a good point, which is again, that sub count doesn't make you successful per se. And he actually thinks that it's Super Eye Patch Wolf, whom I do follow and I do really like his videos as well. I feel like he kind of blew up out of nowhere. Like at one point, he was like sitting, you know, like not many people knew of him, and then I guess he kind of got like some videos viral, and now everyone's talking about him. Which, of course, you know, he makes great videos, so definitely props to him. And shill to the max, yeah. So shilling, I mean, you know, it's a type of success, definitely.
Yeah.
Kari says just hacks YouTube and buy views and subs. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, another couple of people that I wanted to bring up who kind of follow the whole like pause and select thing, where it's like they have lower sub count and stuff, but I think they're like recognizable at least, would be Cyanide Blizzard and Lou Talks Anime. Yeah, whom are like two people that like the community knows very well. And they're not very active, but they make they, you know, their sub count isn't really up there, and they're not really making videos anymore, but like, you know, you see them on Twitter or Discord or something, and there's like, you know, people still like conversate with them and talk to them, and if there's a podcast or something with them, like, you know, like I've seen them around basically a lot.
Yeah, that's another thing. Being active on like other media other than YouTube also defines success, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, well, you know, again, like the anime sphere is small, so like you can't say one person is big or like really successful without mentioning like someone else. Like I think for the most part, everyone's within the same realm almost. You know, like we have certain people that like broke through like the 1 million subscriber count people, I guess. But for the most part, everybody's kind of like, you know, in the same realm, which is interesting because well, let me ask you, do you think that, you know, like say a Digivro video versus a Super Eye Patch Wolf video or whatever, you know, can you really call one successful over the other due to like the content of the video itself or like the view count, or like how would you define, you know, one versus the other, I guess?
I would say based on like the community, because sure, Digipro does produce like some good content, but I particularly don't like him that much because of how he is. So I think that's another thing, like how you act in the community, also defines how successful you are.
Okay, so you think like personal,
Yeah.
like your own personality adds to
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Also, this is actually interesting, which is something we brought up a little bit before, which was like Digi's kind of fame plays into this whole like how successful is too much successful, I think,
Yeah.
because like Digi is now a personality rather than a person, I think. And that's like what follows him. You know, some people like it, some people don't, that's fine, but you know, like would you think that's like a level of success that you like to reach, or that you think is like a good level to reach, I guess, when essentially you as a person are tied down to your content and to your personality. And I think that Anime Snob is another example of that.
Yeah.
You know, where like you think of that Anime Snob, you don't think of, you know, the man behind it. You just think of like the character he portrays. Kind of the same with
Yeah.
like Digi, you know, where they're like they are who they present, I guess.
Yeah.
So is that like too much fame, or is that, how would you classify that?
I think that's too much fame, because this goes back to like you're creating you're essentially creating a character strictly for YouTube, and that you're not being yourself by doing that.
Okay, fair enough. However, I mean, what if that is their person? I think,
Yeah.
you know, that Anime Snob, for example, like he does consider, you know, newer anime to be trash or whatever, which is what he says
Yeah.
in all his videos. So I don't think
Yeah.
he's being dishonest per se, but
No.
like, you know, it's still kind of like difficult to tell him apart as a person
Yeah.
from his persona, I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess just find a middle ground. That'd probably be the
Yeah.
best advice for anyone. Just,
Yeah.
you know, put your thoughts out there, but don't let them define you, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So
Mm-hmm.
any okay, what do you think, like, instead of just like trying to reach for success or whatever, like, you know, you're just doing your thing, making the videos, you want to make everything like that with like a steady growth in, you know, subscriber counts, view counts, all that good stuff. Um, at what level, you said like 100 subs
Yeah.
and stuff like that, but like, do you feel that, you know, I guess eventually you'll go over that, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, okay, when would you consider yourself like an AniTuber per se, or do you do that already?
I would already consider myself an anime tuber based on the content that I produce. I don't think it has to do with like your how famous you are or anything. I think it just has to do with the type of content that you produce that determines on whether or not you're an anime tuber.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Because I consider myself one as well. Because
Yeah.
it's, yeah, like my content is just focused around like anime, manga, that sort of stuff. Um, I don't know. I feel like there's so many channels that like pop up and then just kind of like never really go anywhere sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, because like I've been following a lot of like anime YouTubers for a while now. Um, you know, so someone will have like X amount of videos and subs, and then like they'll just go like AWOL forever, just never upload again. So, and I'm
Yeah.
sure, you know, like personal things come into play. Not everyone has time to make videos, but I think, you know, that's another part of like being successful per se, or, you know, like when you kind of like establish yourself, like, okay, like this is not someone that they'll find your channel and be like, oh, does this guy even upload, or what's he about? You know, it's like, okay, well, I know his type of videos, and um, you know, like we can expect them certain times or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Nico says he doesn't classify himself as an anime YouTuber, just a regular YouTuber, which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's another thing as well, when you like kind of like, it's almost like a limiter, I guess, if you just
Yeah.
limit yourself to only anime. But yeah, and that's like
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
gimmick. That makes sense
Yeah.
for sure.
It is a gimmick. Yeah.
What else was I gonna say? I mean, I guess, what are your thoughts on just like vague thoughts while I think of things?
Um, I can't really think of anything. It's like we said. It's just it. just produce based on what you like, and if you're not big, then that's not a big issue. Just because you're probably not going to be like that for forever. Like eventually, your content will get noticed, and you will get more views and subscribers.
All right, cool. Yeah, for sure. Okay, here's what I was going to bring up, which was I would say that the most successful realm of AniTube is like the shonen side, because I think for the most part,
definitely.
everyone averages around like, at least like the bigger ones average around like 100,000 viewers or so, or like subscribers, I should say. So I think that's like an option, I guess, if anyone just wants to like climb up the ranks really quickly and like just be, you know, like if all you care about is like subscribers and like view counts and stuff. I guess just like throwing out Dragon Ball Super videos or something would be your easiest way. And not necessarily easiest, because there's so much competition as well.
Yeah.
You know, if you got like 30 people talking about Dragon Ball Super, who's gonna watch all their videos? But like that seems to be like the more like stable, I guess, side of the AniTube community, where it's just like a lot of people are like already well established, I guess.
Yeah, I would actually say that Abor's kind of going down that route.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, I think he genuinely enjoys Super and stuff. So
Yeah.
you know, if you're gonna make videos about something, you might as well make it about something you like. You know,
Yeah.
it'd be different if he like hated it but was making them. Then be like, all right,
Yeah.
that's a little bit, you know. But yeah, no, definitely that's cool.
Yeah.
Also, like the whole clickbait thing, I don't think that's really 100% noticeable anymore. Like I think that, you know, people still do it, obviously, but I think like it's been shamed enough that no one wants to actively do it, or like if they do it, it's like they have to kind of be like smart about it and try to hide it.
Yeah.
Which before it just used to be like, you know, fan service thumbnail or something, catchy title. So that used to be, I think, a good way to get like a lot of views and probably high subscriber count, but I wouldn't say that's the case anymore.
No. Because like, let's say you produce like a random thumbnail of a part of like a character that's not even mentioned in your video. You just did it for clickbait. That person clicked your video. They're not going to want to watch your videos again because you're basically false advertising your video.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. Nico wants to join. Hold on, I'll send you the link through Discord. Okay. Just give me a sec. But go ahead, Mega, keep talking.
Yeah, like, yeah, it just produce what you like. Don't like make fake thumbnails for like for your videos for characters that aren't even mentioned. If you're gonna make a thumbnail, make it of a character that you mentioned in your video, because you don't want like to lose someone just because you made a thumbnail for clickbait.
Okay. No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Also, that's an interesting point, because I think it can bring up what's it called? Oh, welcome, NECRO, everybody.
Welcome.
Okay. Can you guys hear me good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. I've never done Google Hangouts, so this is be the first time.
This is our second, so it's cool. It's all good. Getting the hang of it. But NECRO, thank you for joining. I'll link your stuff later, because I wasn't sure who was coming, so I only put Mega's, but I'll link your channel in the description and stuff as well. And you know, just thanks for joining. You want to introduce yourself a bit?
I mean, I don't really have like an introduction per se. I mean, just I make videos. I mean, there's not really anything that I got. I just make videos on the YouTubes. I started back in like June or July of last year, and ever since then, I've pretty much had a a roadmap of what I've wanted to do, where I commission artists, and what I do is every season I go by anime seasons, where I feature a different artist in their artwork, and I use that as kind of like the avatar of the season. And so I promote the art, and then usually there's a musical artist that I also use, and I always put their links in the descriptions of my videos and stuff, and I let people go and click their links because it's more about promoting them, while I also talk about things that I like, which typically goes towards like anime stuff, but sometimes it's about games or whatever else I find that just either falls in my lap, or if it's something that's good, I just make a video about it. But so far I'm almost near 1,000 subs, so that's cool.
Sounds like you sounds like you spend a lot of money.
Yeah, far too much. I just blew another $60 last night on another commission for promo art, so that's a thing.
Nice. All right, great. Yeah, that's awesome. And I think supporting artists and stuff like that is always a good thing. For the most part, like everybody has their own craft and stuff, so it's cool to like not only recognize it, but like kind of try to spread the word out there. So that's pretty rad.
Yeah, they're all really good, and usually when I try to look for artists, it usually happens on Twitter anyways, and they're really easy to work with, and sometimes I can like talk to them on Discord and get commissions done. And I can probably say that I've spent well over $1,000 on them. Like it's
it adds up for sure. But all right. But
that's not all I got.
But Necro, you shared your thoughts on a couple like AniTubers and stuff like that. Do you want to like elaborate a little bit more? Now that you're here with us, on like success, just as a vague term, and how would you consider it? And it doesn't have to just follow into like the anime sphere. If you want to like broaden it out a little bit, go ahead.
Well, I mean, success is always different. I think that whenever you try to define success, it's usually like, well, the anime man has over 1 million subs. Like, I think he's successful to that extent where he has over 1 million subscribers, and that's cool. But I think that success is whatever you want it to be. So for me, success would mean if I get to 100,000 subscribers and I can get a plaque, then I can take that plaque around and have everybody that has subscribed to me, like I can take it to like an anime convention and just have everybody sign it. Then that will be my success.
Nice. Yeah.
So not even like 1 million, like that would be like amazing to me. Like that would be like out of this world, but 100,000 would be successful for me. Now, if we're talking like where I'm at right now, even 1,000 subscribers is successful. Where I'm at is 995 or somewhere in that area. Like that's still successful. Any little bit is always successful. It just really just depends on how you want to scale it. I think Super Eye Patch Wolf, I think the video that brought me to him was I think it was one of his earlier videos. It was something that was really analytical when I was searching around, and it was The Fall of Bleach is the video.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's great.
And that was the one video I saw, and I was like, oh, well, yeah, I used to be like way into Bleach. And then after episode 63 is pretty much where it just like started to fall apart.
Right.
And I used to be way into it. And I used to know everything. So when I saw that video, I was like, oh, this guy's really good. And then I started watching his other videos. I said, okay, I'll subscribe to him. And then it just took off from there. And I said, that is true success, is when you can just make a video and just people are following you all the time. Like he's already reached not pretty much the height, but I think he's pretty much hit where he's gonna be good for a while.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's definitely up there, especially like again like anime YouTube, which I think he would consider himself a part of. It's like on a different scale. Like I think like the top people in the anime community would be like, you got the Anime Man and MegaXAnimeXOpenings, the 1 million, so he's definitely up there in like sub count.
Now, a lot of them, they do use a lot of like clickbait. I don't want to say like the word clickbait, but they use a lot of clickbait for a lot of their videos, or at least MegaXAnimeXOpenings for the most part. So a lot of his top 10 videos, they use clickbait, like things that aren't even in their videos. So I mean, a lot of that stuff you kind of have to like take it with a grain of salt. Like this is going to be something that people are going to click on and it gets them views, because I think the way that YouTube's algorithms and things like that work is, I think it's either every 1 second or every 3 seconds counts it as a view. So even if someone was like, oh, well, this video doesn't have anything in it, or even if they skip through the video, then it already counts as a view.
Okay.
So if they see, oh, this guy, he has anime titties in the thing, then they just click on it, and then, oh, well, there's nothing like that in this video. It's pretty safe for work. And then, you know, he's already got a view, and then his video has 300,000 views in it. But, you know, people generally are going to click on it anyways. So I try to stay away from stuff like that myself.
Right.
Unless it's for like the video at hand. And I think like the Funimation one that I made about my first girlfriend is a gal, like that one was real hard to avoid, but I think it made the point for me. And then the other one was the Xenoblade 2 video. And that one I intentionally put boobs in it. I was like, that's going to be great. But generally I try to avoid that as a standard rule, is like, I never want to use clickbait except for the Hoshiro Girl Drop overview, which is not clickbait because it's technically not clickbait.
No, yeah, of course. I mean, there are times when it is appropriate.
Yeah.
But you know, for the most part, that's my own general standard, and a lot of anime YouTubers use that to get ahead really quick.
Yeah.
But you really don't have to, but it does get you clicks a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But I usually like to keep things very organic.
Yeah.
No, definitely. And also I think this is a good point that like Mako brought up earlier, and you're building on, which is like, you know, people will get upset, I guess, if you have a certain thumbnail and then the video doesn't contain that content. So do you think, you know, like the whole like even bad publicity is good publicity thing, do you think that still applies with that? Because again, like, yeah, you do get the viewpoints, but like the view count, but you don't get, like, people probably wouldn't subscribe if they're just like, oh, this person's just, you know, misleading or whatever. Like, how do you think that adds into the whole, like, you know, still getting successful? I guess people could still talk about it, you know, like if you see a video and you're like, oh, I saw this video, but it was, you know, bad or whatever, and then other people will want to check it out maybe. Do you think any of that plays a part into, you know, certain success?
I would say that there's always going to be a certain type of person for every video that you ever make. In fact, I think one of the very first videos back in September of last year that I made, which was the Neo Yokio video that I made, it was the most critical video that I've ever made. So it has the most dislikes. I think at around 198 to 101 likes.
Yeah, okay.
And the reason I said I did not like, or wasn't going to like, Neo Yokio because it was based off of a trailer, was because the art and the animation were terrible. The voice acting, like, they just got A-list actors to be in this animation production. And I said, okay, this doesn't look like a recipe for, you know, perfection. This looks like a dumpster fire, I'm paraphrasing. And in the comments, people were calling me racist. You're just racist because the main character is black. And I said, I've never said that in any part of my video. And how am I going to say that I don't like the main character because he's black when I myself am black? How does that make any sense?
Right.
And so, you know, and then months later, like a couple of weeks ago, I released the video called Being Black and Liking Anime Sucks. And in the video, the gentleman that's there,
oh, I saw that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, he kind of uses that as like the crutch of
his whole thing.
It's like, well, I'm like the black. He uses the title Black Anime Community Rant, but it's two different things. It's fine, but that video has like 0 dislikes, and I'm like, why is this the video that gets 0 dislikes, but the Neo Yokio one about something that had nothing to do with race is fine? So I think, so each video, I mean, even if you were to use like the clickbait approach, I mean, the Anime Man does it all the time.
Yeah. I think Akidiris is probably one of the biggest ones as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. She does a lot for a little.
I saw your video, so yeah, I know you know.
But it's like but like even then, like they'll always have those people that want to see just the thumbnail will get them that far. So even if they want to see just the thumbnail and they don't even get that part of the video there, they'll still enjoy it, even if it doesn't have that part in particular. So, I mean, so even if it gets you those views, somebody will still subscribe and say, hey, I want to see more of those thumbnails, or this is just like ironically the thing I want to see.
Yeah, definitely. Also, I think a big part of that comes with the like YouTube algorithm and stuff, because if you put out a misleading thumbnail and you get a whole bunch of clicks really quickly, like the algorithm itself will push your video more to get more clicks and stuff. So I think that definitely plays a part. I know that like there's a lot of people that are like, oh, we figured out the algorithm, do this, do that. Like there's so many people with advice and stuff. I have no idea. You just make what you can and hope people see it, I guess. Hope people find it. But I think the algorithm is definitely plays a big part in like just success in terms of like spreading your videos out there. So thoughts on that, I guess.
If you can figure out the algorithm, sure, you're gonna get more views. But at that point, I feel like you're not making videos based on what you want. Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit more, I guess? Because
let's say like there's a particular type of video that you like making, and it isn't getting a lot of views. If you and you find out that by figuring out the algorithm, another type of video does get a lot of views, and you focus on just those types of videos, you're at that point you're not like making stuff that you want, and you're just making videos based on the algorithm.
Okay, I can see that. Also, just want to say real quick, shout out to the Anime Dude and all the anime both in the chat. And actually, Briggs brought up a good point, which is long videos and a solid thumbnail is all you need, and a title. So that's still I think everybody kind of strives for that. Well, maybe not necessarily the long video parts, but that's something that you can work for, I guess.
And this is the thing too with big anime YouTubers like with Mother's Basement, Mother's Showman, if you will. This is the thing. They have people, because they're much bigger YouTubers than you and I are, where they have people that pretty much study what's current in the anime community or what's current on YouTube. And so what they do is they find out what's trending, and then they make a video based on what that trending topic is. So when they make a video, they know exactly who they're targeting, and they know how to like game the algorithm that way. Whereas when I make a video, it's still like either it's a quote unquote debunking video, or it's something that I wanted to talk about or that I find on the internet. Like Aki Dearest video was like months old.
Right.
If it's like the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 video, like that's something that I was like, well, I like the game so far. I think it's a pretty good game. And then they're having this quote unquote outrage about it. Things like that. I mean, sure, I'll address it, but I mean, for the most part, if it's something that I can make a video about that I like, then I'll still just, I'll make it whenever. Or it's something that people just haven't heard of. But people like Mother's Basement or The Anime Man, they'll make something that's current or something that they want to talk about themselves that is still within that current like period of time. So I think he came out with a video a couple of days ago or maybe a week ago, and it was about what was it? It was about Pop Team Epic and how he voiced over a character. I think it was clickbait almost. I didn't finish watching his entire video, but it was essentially he translated a script and like somebody else voiced it over.
Oh, okay. So he didn't actually speak. Okay, wow. That is clickbait, really? Then
I mean, that's what I got from a few skips and a step away. But
okay.
But like those are things that they're still pretty topic related and things that are trending because Pop Team Epic is still pretty popular.
Yeah.
So they have the studies there to 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 make videos and use that algorithm in their favor, whereas we kind of have to just ride the wave, and when we make a video, hope it just hits.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Also, I was gonna say, it's interesting you brought out Jeff because, and I don't know how well like research this was, but his whole which I know you made a reply to, I think.
Yeah.
The pirate anime thing, where he was like essentially just saying like, whether you should pirate it and giving his points on what not to, because like piracy, there was like a while ago when like Digipro made his thing and like For never responded, and then like, I would say that was kind of like the height of it. So for him to make it like later on, seemed a little bit off place, I guess. So I don't know if he, really did research it and that was the best time, or if that was just a video where he wanted to share his thoughts, stuff like that. But I don't know. I think that was kind of like more out of place in his normal work, I guess.
Yeah, I think when Mother's Basement, when he makes stuff, sometimes like I think I was subscribed to him at one point in time because sometimes he makes good stuff, I would say, but I think when it comes down to if he's going to make something that's coherent, I think sometimes it just kind of goes off the wayside. So he doesn't understand that the rest of the world is like not America. So here we're pretty privileged with the fact that we can go through different retailers. Like there's Viz Media that we can buy stuff through. There's Funimation. I think Right Stuff is like also another retailer. We got Best Buy. We have all of these different retailers. Amazon. I think there's still Walmart that probably sells that kind of stuff where we can buy stuff and they're pretty instantaneous. And for the most part, we can find what we're looking for. But in other countries, they don't have a larger library that they can just stream stuff from or that they can buy stuff legally. So when they pirate stuff, it's usually subtitled over in Russian, over in like Spanish, or it's subtitled in like Turkish. It's the whole 9 yards. But when he was making this entire video of his about anime piracy, it was pretty much, well, pirates aren't doing anything to really give you anything of quality because they steal it all from Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll is our god. You should praise them. Monopolies are bad, but don't worry, Crunchyroll is not a monopoly. They're just trying to buy everything on the entire face of the earth. It's like, that kind of stuff. And I'm like, well, that's very anti-consumer of you. I just want there to be the same anime in all of the anime across all of these different platforms. So that way they have to compete, because when there's competition, the consumer wins. So that way I can watch it on Funimation or I can watch it on High Dive, all of the same shows, and I can choose between those. And then they can say, well, you have like a cloud-based DVR that you can go back and watch live streaming anime from, like Adult Swim when it streams on Saturday and it's dubbed over completely. And then I can be like, okay, well, here's my $7 a month. And then Crunchyroll can come back with, oh, well, now you don't have to wait 2 hours for your shows to be subtitled. Now you only have to wait 1 hour. And then I can say, okay, well, I guess I'll just spend my $7 here.
Right.
Yeah.
Because now I have options.
Exactly.
Then I'll feel better about supporting the anime industry from their standards. But until that happens, I can't watch Symphogear season 4. I can't watch season 5 because they just won't license it.
But like the whole subscribing to watch anime isn't the only way you can support. There's also like places like Otakubo where you can like buy merchandise to support the creators, or like you can buy the manga to support them.
Like I just bought Hoshiro Girl Drop, the comic anthology from Amazon. All that money goes straight to Okawa Bakube's pocket, and I'm sure he's pretty excited that he gets it from mine because it cost me an arm and a leg to get.
Yeah.
One thing I was gonna say was I think it'd be funny if Jeff's anti-piracy video was sponsored by Crunchyroll. But okay, so that was like a good kind of like point, bringing up how like people try to like impose their beliefs and stuff onto others. And that's like a good jumping point to the whole like Digibro thing that happened like months ago, where he was basically telling everyone to, write in his style, essentially.
Yeah.
And I think a funny thing with that was that Giga was one of the people that he called out. And, like Giga, you could kind of consider more successful because he has more subscribers. So, like how do you define that, I guess? Like, can someone who's like, doing their own thing that's reached success be told, hey, change it up because it doesn't match what the community wants, I guess? Or how does that play a part?
Well, here's the thing about the anime community is smart. I mean, sometimes, the anime community is smart. I think that things that we do are for the lulz, I would say. So, like the whole like our trap's gay kind of thing, like that's all for like the comedic value. That the anime community is smart and they know what they want. They know that there's always going to be an influential voice. I don't think I'm that influential. I pretty much leave anything that I say open to the interpretation of others. So whenever I say you shouldn't support Crunchyroll, I just say fuck Funimation. Sorry, I don't know if I can swear on your stream.
Yeah,
but I say like Funimation, they do some weird things over there. But I mean, they're probably one of the biggest anime license holders in America, so we have no choice but to really buy our discount Blu-rays from them.
Yeah.
But they're pretty smart when it comes to who they want to support and where they want to get their products from. The same thing with like video games. Like we don't buy our games through EA if we don't have to. We'll just say, well, I'm going to skip this purchase. The same thing with anime YouTubers. Like there's hundreds of anime YouTubers out there that I'm sure they probably produce the same videos as me, or they try to. I got compared to a very low budget RPG monger, and I said, well, my spirit's dead a little bit. But there's, I think when you're talking about like these big anime YouTubers, they all know each other, and they know of each other if they don't.
Right.
That's why they had that whole discussion where it was Mother's Basement and they had Digibro and like the Pedantic Romantic and all these other people put together in a room, and they said, hey, let's talk about this like respectable men.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what happened. I just know that in the chronological order of events, Digibro spent like an hour and a half or 2 hours saying a lot of offhand comments, and when it got brought up to him, that's pretty much what happened. He got put on a podcast and they talked about it, and they pointed out some hypocritical moments. I think a very good friend of mine pointed that out in a couple of his videos where that was like a point of interest. But I think like the anime community, they typically pick up on things when it's about people that they like. So if they want to support Digibro, I think they've kind of wised up a little bit, some of them, or even like a comment that I got the other day. It was by Ultra Instinct Ecchi C18. It was it's I know someone that's subscribed to me is named Thick.
Okay, awesome.
But they said, this is a reply to the Aki Dearest video where they said, well, Aki, I think I found your replacement. I will be grateful that she introduced me to some things I never knew about through her fun clickbait vids. Very well done, NECRO XIII. You earned a new sub and opened my eyes a bit more clearly about the topic at hand. I appreciate some things like ecchi, hentai, cartoon/regular anime, open-minded/intellectual conversations, and games. I think my admiration for ecchi and hentai must have clouded my mind in watching her videos. I don't think I really bring that much to the table, but but someone else replied relatable in bold letters.
Well, I think, yeah, like you said, like people are smart, and I think it's the way that you presented things. And again, like you actively leave things open for interpretation, right? So just the way that you were presenting, I guess, your counter arguments to hers, probably that's how like they read it, like, okay, I get it, something like that. That's how I think. Because I think your video was pretty good. The one on Aki Dearest, I think I said that on Discord to you. But yeah, like it is a good way of like just kind of breaking down her points or whoever's points, and then just leaving it up like, okay, now you decide, like I'm just countering their points. You're not countering the person.
Right. Like there's no one that I would say that I absolutely like hate. Like hate's a really strong word. I don't hate anybody. I just think that the things that they say, it can be pretty ridiculous at times.
Right.
And the inspiration that I had to make a YouTube channel was from Rags. If you guys watch any, like he does like a lot of PC debunking stuff. Like he does like PC Gamer, like he's pro consumer, pro PC stuff, but he does a lot of stuff where console gamers will say a lot of things, but they can be debunked. But he used to do a lot of that stuff. Now it's just kind of like more political stuff, but it's kind of, you know, you get a video here and there. But when I saw his videos, that's what kind of inspired me to do the same thing. I was like, well, no one's really taking a stance against some of these big anime YouTubers where they're saying these things that are almost blatantly wrong. And sure, anime is a little bit more, it's more subjective than if you were to play a game.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's something that's a little weird to me because they say all this stuff and they shill out for Crunchyroll, which I'm sure if they know the history about Crunchyroll, it used to be like a pirate site.
Yeah, you brought that up in your thing.
Yeah, but it's, you know, it's completely legitimate now. So, I mean, that's why I kind of got into making YouTube videos. So when I go after these people, I'm not doing it with malicious intent. I just have these points and I present them. And then, of course, if people like feel the need to correct me or say that I'm an idiot, then there's the videos there.
Right.
Yeah.
So okay. Most definitely. Yeah. It's definitely a good way to approach it.
So I really don't hate Aki Dearest. I just think that when she's saying that fan service is hurting anime and that you shouldn't support it if you don't want to see more of it, while almost at the exact same time selling merchandise that is in her store that has her avatar with tentacles, I think that's a little hypocritical.
Hypocritical for sure.
Yeah.
So take that as it may be. But I don't hate anyone. I just think that sometimes she's not very smart when she chooses those kinds of things. Or when the anime man decides that making a video talking about Yuri on Ice, he should have stood by what he said.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing as well.
Yeah.
Well, he like deleted the whole video and apologized and all that, then deleted that as well.
Yeah, they did it out of mutual respect for each other was the reason.
Well, this actually, this brings up a good point, which is, you know, like someone who's influential, because I think we can say Aki Dearest and, you know, Anime Man, because they have a lot of like subscribers. So, you know, I'm sure their voices reach out a large number of people. So they're influential in one way or another. I don't know if you saw the whole thing with the whole like Kim Kardashian thing coming out as an anime fan, and then like Joey's tweet, and then Miles from Crunchyroll's tweet, and it was like this whole giant thing on Twitter for a while, or like for a day. And essentially it was just you know, I guess Miles kind of saying like, you know, if you're an influential figure, you shouldn't like joke, I guess, about things that can potentially turn people away from anime or something of that sort.
I think anime has been around forever. Like, even if we were to reference back to like the Bare Naked Ladies song, and he already referenced Sailor Moon, like Sailor Moon was huge for people that weren't into like anime. I guess like everybody was kind of like into anime at some point in time. Hello Kitty was a thing that was back in the 90s when I was a kid. Sailor Moon was still out. Dragon Ball Z was on TV. Like, I mean, anime has forever been here on like TV in some shape, form, or fashion. Even when I went to Suncoast back in like the early 2000s, late 90s, like that's where I would buy all of my like anime DVDs. The one guy knew me so well that when I went to Best Buy years later, he knew exactly who I was. Like, that's crazy. Anime isn't cool now. I think anime is like a hobby. Like, I don't go up to people and say, hey, do you watch Game of Thrones? And they're like, yeah, it's pretty cool, right? Like, I mean, it's a show. Like, I don't expect them to say, oh, do you watch anime? Like, yeah, it's you know, it's pretty neat. Like, I don't say it's cool. It's just a hobby. Like, you know what's really cool? Skydiving. I'm just kidding. Not that. I just don't. But, I mean, you know, Kanye, I think at some point they they had I can't remember the magazine. It was like some Anime Insider magazine. It was some old magazine where they had like some live action, like, oh, well, this is what would happen if they had these celebrities do it. Like, I'm sure they've already been approached and they were like, oh, yeah, I used to watch anime all the time. And now they have Michael B. Jordan saying he's a huge fan of anime, and Kim Kardashian like has this inspiration from Darling in the Franxx. And then what else? Britney Spears' son draws a lot of Dragon Ball Z fan fiction, stuff like that, and cosplays and stuff. Like, these are all people's hobbies. Like, anime is a hobby that everybody can enjoy. Like, so to say it's cool, I mean, it's not. It's cool now, but I mean, it's been cool forever.
Yeah,
right? I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, it's been cool.
Yeah, and like when people say that like anime is starting to get cool now just because like Kim Kardashian is and like the whole like Michael B. Jordan, it's just not true.
Yeah, I mean, like celebrities are people just like you and I. There's nothing different between you and I and them. It's just they can show expressions a little bit better. Like, they can act their pants off better than I can. Like, they have more emotion built up than I could ever project onto a screen. But I mean, they're just regular people.
No, yeah, definitely.
And so when they say that they like anime, then I guess it's, you know, a thing. Every media outlet, I guess, has to like report on it. I guess that's how it is.
All right. Anything else you guys want to add in, throw in about just general things, I guess, going on in the anime community, success in general? Go ahead.
I guess to announce that we're also going to be streaming the Fairy Tail movie tonight on Rabbit if anyone wants to join.
Nice. Okay.
I don't think I have anything, but I don't know. I'm gonna try to get some promotional artwork done for not this next season, for the spring season, but for the summer season.
Oh, nice.
Which is going to be the first of its kind for me, because there's going to be 2 different characters. And right now I'm getting a lot of different voices put in for my character, because there's only one video out for an artist spotlight, which is for the very first Claire that I have. Claire is the name of the avatar from all different dimensions. It's a weird thing that I came up with like at some point, and I said, well, I guess this is going to take a life of its own. So there's one artist spotlight video where the one Claire is called Claire Akabane, and she's voiced by Sarah Blandy. So if you played any of the Fire Emblem, I think it's Fire Emblem Fates or Fire Emblem Heroes, she voices at least 3 characters in each of those. But she's the one who is the voice of Claire Akabane, and that video's out. It's been out for like a month or 2. And so now I'm getting Claire Callahan, who is the current season avatar for Electro Swing. I'm going to have to get her voice done here soon. And next season is going to be a different Claire, who is going to be Scottish. I think that's about the only things I have exciting going on.
That actually sounds pretty cool, man. Like you really thought it out and whatnot. All right, awesome, man. Looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah, and also I've been working on an RPG with a couple of people, and we're getting ready to like actually release some images, and like I'm gonna start like releasing some like gameplays in my future in my videos soon.
Oh, so, nice, bro.
Yeah,
looking forward to that as well.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think we've pretty much said everything we needed to say, which is success in general in anime YouTube. So I guess we can wrap it up here. Thanks everyone for watching / listening. Huge shout out to Anime Dude, all the anime that came through. Thanks a lot to NECRO for stopping by, and of course Mega. So I got both of their channels linked down. Check them out. And yeah, I guess say your goodbyes, peoples.
Yep.
All right.
You guys have a good one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Bye.
See ya.
See ya.